Guys, before we start, we are not going to talk about we are not talking about Vice City Stories, Liberty City Stories, or Chinatown Wars. Okay, those we're not going to talk about right now due to never play those games. So let's start. Now, all the games are connected. The HD and 3D universe games are connected. Well, that is true because only one person connects them, which we'll talk about later. Okay, let's start with Vice City. Tom Vercetti, 1986. Okay, he talks to their contact down there, talk to a friend or a colleague, Ken Rosenberg. Tommy thinks I think maybe took too much coke, so he went to rehab in Los Santos. 1991-ish, he gets released. Tommy doesn't want to deal with him. Then Ken Rosenberg pops up, which I have not seen him yet in San Andreas. Pops up in 1992 in San Andreas with, I think, I heard a Kit Paul's in it. I'm not really sure. Never really got that high in the game. And, yeah. So, yeah, Ken Rosenberg ends up in LS. That's how it makes him connected. Then Claude, which is, I have seen Claude, which is earlier in the game. Claude shows up around the time where everything goes downhill, where you're dealing with Catalina and stuff, which I have seen that part. Then Claude shows up. Then you take Claude's garage from him. Well, Catalina and him go to Liberty City to do some stuff for a few years until 2001. She shoots Claude in the throat. And that's pretty much about it. That's how the 3D universe is connected. Now let's go to HD, which is pretty easy. Liberty City, 2008. Good old Niko Bellic has came back. Niko Bellic comes from Serbia or the Navy or wherever he was from, and comes to Liberty City and do tons of work and lives a decent life. Now, after Kate dies, Gerald died, and his brother Gary, I think, is in prison still. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I played. It's been over 10 years since I played the game. Then he flies to Liberty City. You can pick him up at robbing a drugstore near Grove Street, near where Franklin lives. And you can make him part of your crew, which I did. Then you have to deal with Mr. Paperboy. And then when you rob the bureau, then you do deal with the IAA, Mr. Paperboy, UL Paper, and stuff. But that's not it. Earlier in the game, you know Mr. K. Mr. K. The woman torturing Mr. K. Who's that? Well, that's technically Michelle or Karen, Nico's girlfriend, his first girlfriend. And that kind of was surprising when I found that out. Someone had to show me. Well, it's hard to tell, because it's been a few years. Okay, it's only been a couple years. Well, it's 2013. It's been a couple years. Now, that's not the only thing is pretty interesting about it. Okay, now, that's pretty interesting, though, that Karen was in it. Now, this is the biggest surprise, I thought. Now, I need to double check something quick before I even confirm this. Let me do this real quick, guys. I need to double check something real quick before I confirm it, because I want to make sure I do this right. Hurricane Sandy.
According to Wikipedia, Hurricane Sandy was an extremely destructive and strong Atlantic hurricane, as well as the largest Atlantic hurricane on record as measured by diameter, with tropical storm force winds spanning 1,150 miles.
Okay. That happened a year before the game came out. Okay. Wow. 11 years? Wow, over 11 years already? Wow. Okay. I'm gonna add this real quick. Okay, before we finish, Laszlo is in every single game since the 3D universe. Every game. We finally get what it looks like. Which, actually, he looks like that in real life. But they turned him into a wimp, which I think is sad for him. I think they're just trying to roast him or something. Now, now the radio station on Blaine County Radio Community Hour, John Cranley, okay, who wants to be governor of Los Santos, went to Liberty City to show a movie. The thing is, though, according to the way this game is set up in, it's just like recently after the hurricane. After Hurricane, now this is supposed to be based after when. Now this is actually based on real time. Okay, he said I went to LS after that hurricane hit and showed my newest movie. And this hurricane hit Liberty City. Now the thing is, though, according to this, they're saying that hurricane hit. So they mean Hurricane Sandy. Okay, they mean Hurricane Sandy. So technically, they did put a real world event in GTA 5. It's about Hurricane Sandy a little bit. Bless your heart. Now, I think someone who knows YouTube better than I do could maybe pull it up pretty fast. May take a couple hours to find it, but yeah. John Canary talks about how he went to Liberty City to show his new movie after that hurricane hit. So he means Hurricane Sandy, which hit almost a year later. Because the game came out in October. Wait, wow. That's convenient. Came out a year later after the hurricane hit New York City. Hurricane Sandy happened in October 2012, and then 1 year later, Grand Theft Auto 5 came out. Thing is, though, in the game, all your calendars say September on them. Well, Trevor's doesn't. Yeah. Most of the calendars in the game say September, but Trevor says August. So, I don't know what that means. So, you know what I'm saying, right? So, it has to be like September or August when it's supposed to be happening, because that's when the calendars say. Most of the calendars say September. Trevor says August, so I don't know what to believe. But, yeah. So, that's a little bit of a GTA crazy.